I have a daughter who's going to be 24. And I have 22-year-old twins who were diagnosed with autism, mito disease, seizures when they were 2 years of age. They were developing totally fine. And when they regressed, it sent me into a tailspin of what's going on? What do I need to do to help them? How can I heal their body? How can I build them back to what they were prior to this, regression that they had had? So that sent me into a crazy world of biomedical interventions. And, at the time there were DAN doctors, now there are MAPS doctors, and they literally saved my children.
As a mother of two special needs kids, what advice could you give to parents of newly diagnosed children? Because I'm sure it's a very difficult period. You receive the diagnosis and you understand that you have to be doing something, and you're absolutely, helpless at what you should be doing. Yes, there are resources, but sometimes when there's too many things on internet, you don't really know, is this true? Is this false?
Right.
What should I do?
Right. So, as a parent, I would say first and foremost, just breathe and love your child. Like that, I think is critical. I just think it's so important I had somebody stop me in my tracks. She was a behavior specialist, and she was like, honey, you remember you're a mom first, because I had two and I was trying to do all these therapies, and she's like, just breathe and love them. And that was probably one of the best advice a practitioner has ever given me. So, that's one of my first things. The second thing is, recently I had a breakthrough with my one son. He was apraxic, and he still is apraxic, and he's non-speaking. And at 18 years of age, we found a new modality that taught him to communicate. It's called Spelling to Communicate. We actually brought it to the MAPS conference last year to educate other practitioners about this. So what that has taught me, now my son is testing out at college level. He's 22 and he is brilliant. And we had no idea unless I stumbled upon this modality. So what I would say with that, now that I know what I know now, I would say always presume competence and treat your child and talk to them as if they were age appropriate. Day one, everybody back in the day was like, use simple terms and, talk slowly. And I really don't think that's true anymore. I think we need to treat these kids like kids. They just have a brain disorder. And I think, like Stephen Hawkins has proven us, just because you look one way doesn't mean that you think it different. So that's presumed competence is my biggie. And then the final thing is, well, I guess there's two more. The final thing would be get a MAPS doctor, because internally these children are definitely off. And the more you can treat what's off internally, the better they're going to be able to function in society. I mean, my kids are night and day from what people presumed that they would be. I mean, I love my kids. They are amazing. They are a joy to be around. We don't have like the behaviors. And now that my one son's learned to communicate, he consulted yesterday with a physician who was creating a building and wanted to make it sensory friendly. I just think that had I not done all these biomedical interventions, there's no way my kids would have been where they are today. And then the final thing I would add is find your tribe, like find your people. I know you and I talked about, potentially doing like MAPS conferences for parents down the road. And that's something we'd like to add in, because obviously previously to my onboarding, that's what I did, parent support. And finding your tribe is really important. I had been affiliated with TACA, the Autism, Community in Action, and National Autism Association. Both of those are great organizations to just find people that are going to keep you strong and build you up and say, we got this. It's okay to cry and, be upset, but you need people that are like, we got this, we're going, so I think finding your tribe of people that understand you is really critical. I've been just very blessed with like-minded friends, and it has made all the difference in the world. I mean, we talk about what our MAPS doctors say. We talk about, how crazy sometimes things are. And, one of the reasons I tried hyperbaric was because my partner of over a decade, her name's Patty. She has a child that actually lost his diagnosis, and she went to Dr. O'Hara. And it was interesting because, I was like, what was the most impactful thing you did? And she says, hands down, the two things were diet and HBOT. And it was one of the things that kind of pushed me, like I really should look into this. So she was a little more advanced in me in certain areas. And so I just am so thankful that I had the tribe like that to keep pushing me to try new things alongside my doctor. But it's like you build this team. So I think finding your tribe is critical as well.
Thank you. Thank you for this advice.
Everybody to know our kids can get better.
I'll have all the information in the podcast description below. And if you think that this episode can be helpful to somebody please send them a link. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.